Hi, I am Narendra Modigari. In this lecture, we are going to discuss a flowchart interpreter called as Raptor Tool. So we have different interpreters for flowcharts. One is a Raptor Tool, another one is a Flowgorithm. In this session, we will discuss a Raptor Tool, a rapid algorithmic prototyping tool for ordered reasoning. It is developed by US Air Force Academy, Department of Computer Science for its own purpose. Then later it is they made it as a freely available for computer science community. .com. So this is the official web page for Raptor Tool. And now the Martin Carlos is the person who is managing this tool. He will be take care of adding features, rectifying bugs, releasing new versions. So you can find a lot of resources here regarding this Raptor tool. And so here this is the button, download latest version button. So you can click this button, and so the size of this Raptor tool is not even 4 MB, it is less than 4 MB. So this is your Raptor tool. Just click this one, click run button, and click next button here. Here you can change the path. So I am leaving it as a default path. So this is the path where your Raptor tool is installed. Click next. That's it. It's a matter of seconds for installation. Close. So to check whether the Raptor is installed or not, go to the start menu and type Raptor. So this is your Raptor tool. You can maximize it as much as you can. So this is the place where you can draw your flowcharts, and this is the master console where you can visualize your output. So this is the place where you will get the intermediate result, and these are the set of symbols available in Raptor tool. So what is a flowchart? A flowchart is nothing but a visual representation of your algorithm, which consists of a collection of connected graphic symbols, where each symbol represents a specific type of instructions to be executed. And the connection between these graphic symbols determine the order in which these instructions is supposed to execute. Okay, the instruction will execute the order in which you specified. So basically, a Raptor tool is a flowchart based programming environment designed specifically to help students visualize their algorithms without bothering much about the syntax. Like a high-level programming language like C, C++, Java, Python, here you need not to remember too much of syntax. That is where the use of Raptor tool comes in. Even non-computing students can easily understand this Raptor tool. They can easily write programs. Even the school kids can write programs here. And very basic, very minimum syntax is required. I'm not telling that no, you don't need to remember syntax and all. Very minimum that even a small kid can remember it. And so once you design your flowchart, and you can even generate programs in different languages by using the flowchart. You can generate programs in C++ language, Order, Java, VBA, or C#. You just draw a flowchart like this. And this Raptor tool will take care of generating code in C++ language or Order or Java or VBA or C#. You need not write program. Just draw a flowchart, and the Raptor tool will take care of generating code in different programming languages. Every Raptor program will have the two basic symbols, the start symbol and end symbol, and in some flowchart interpreters, this start symbol is also called as main, and another symbol called as end symbol. Okay, Raptor program execution will start from the start symbol, and the Raptor program will terminate when it reaches the end symbol. Whatever the instruction you would like to execute, those instructions should be placed in between the start symbol and end symbol. All the instruction that is specified in between the start symbol and end symbol will be executed, and the execution order depends on the order in which you specify the instructions. And this is the smallest program which consists of only one statement, and that statement is to produce output to the console, master console. So the program execution will start from the start symbol, and it will execute all the statements in between the start and end symbol. So once it reaches the end symbol, the Raptor program will terminate it. As this program contains only one statement, so you will get output as hello world specified by this one output statement. Let's write a small program, the Raptor. So this is the basic symbols in every Raptor program: a start symbol and an end symbol. Whatever the instructions you would like to place, you have to place in between these two symbols. For example, if you want to print hello world message, that printing is nothing but producing output. If you want to produce output, so you have to use a symbol called as output symbol. Just click that symbol and drag it and drop wherever you want. So first save your program. Let's say this is my second program. So this is the symbol for output. So all the output instructions should be mentioned here. Just double click this symbol, and here you can write whatever the message you would like to display. For example, let us say, and the message should be inside the double quotes, in between the double quotes, hello world. So whatever the message you would like to display onto the console, and that output should be, that message should be inside double quotes. If you enable the checkbox, and it will go to the next line after printing this message. Okay, that's it. So this is my simple program which consists of only one statement, one output statement. To execute this, you can press this button, execute button, and it will start execution from the start, and when it reaches the end symbol, it will complete its execution. Whatever the output you are producing, that output will be displayed in the master console here. Okay, if you press this execute symbol, all the statement will execute one after another. If you want to pass at every statement, you can use this symbol. Okay, just click the symbol. Okay, the execution will start from the start symbol, and the next it will go to the next statement, which is nothing but putting hello world on the console, and next symbol is end. So when Raptor program reaches end symbol, it completes its execution. All the output will be produced in the master console. Okay, if you want, you can clear this output. Okay, you can do step-by-step execution. If you want, you can clear this output. This is a very simple Raptor program which prints hello world message. Basically, the Raptor consists of 6 statements, also called as 6 symbols: an assignment symbol or assignment statement, a call statement, an input statement, output statement, selection statement, and loop statement. This assignment statement is to assign a value to a particular variable. You can assign, if you want, you can assign value to a particular variable. This assignment statement can be also useful for performing mathematical operations. All the mathematical operations that we will perform here inside this assignment symbol. This is the call symbol. It is for executing other subflow charts, or if there is any functions in your program, you can call those functions using call symbol. And this input symbol or input statement is for reading the input from the user. So when you are reading the input from the user, you can provide a prompting message. A prompting message is nothing but the message that has to be displayed when the flow reaches to this input symbol. And this is the output statement, output symbol, and it is for producing the output. This symbol is for decision making. Based on certain condition, you can decide the flow of your execution. If the condition is satisfied, it will take one route, and if the condition is failed, it takes another route. Okay? It will execute the statements based on the condition. If certain condition is satisfied, execute this set of statements. If the condition is not satisfied, execute some other set of statements. So if you want to take decisions, if you want to perform decision making, you can depend on this selection statement. And the next one is a loop control statement, a loop control symbol. If you want to repeat certain instructions again and again and again until a condition is met, you can make use of this loop statement. Okay. This is for performing mathematical operations or assigning values. This is for calling functions or calling other flowcharts. And this is for reading the input from the user. And this is to produce the output to the master console, or if you want, you can even produce output to a text file. This is for decision making. You can decide which set of the statement to be executed based on the condition. And this is a loop control statement. It is to repeat a set of statements until the condition is satisfied. These are the set of statements. So far we use only the output statement. So before getting into the more about programs of Raptor, we should know something called as variables. A variable is nothing but a memory location inside a computer that holds a value. At any given point of time, this variable can hold only a single value. And the value of variable can vary throughout the course of the program. That's why we are calling it as the variable. If you observe here, initially we have given the value x with the value 32. So x variable is holding a value 32, and the value can vary throughout the program. So here the value of x is getting increased by 1. Here the value is getting multiplied. Okay. So a variable is something that can hold a single value, and the value of a variable can vary throughout the course of the program. A variable can hold different types of data. It can store the numbers like whole numbers or fractional numbers, decimal numbers, or it can even store the messages like hello, how are you, James Bond, the value of x is. Okay, a variable can hold different types of values, whole numbers, decimal numbers, fractional numbers, messages like this. Let's write a simple program based on these variables using our Raptor. Okay. So here what I am going to do is I am going to write a program to find addition of two given numbers. Okay, here I am going to write a program to find the addition of two numbers. So what is the algorithm for finding addition of two numbers? So you need two numbers. You have to read two numbers, number 1 and number 2. Let me increase the font size. So the first step is you need to read two numbers to perform addition of two numbers, and then read number 1 and number 2, perform addition and store the result in a variable called as sum. Sum is equal to number 1 plus number 2, and finally produce output, print sum as output. So this is the algorithm. So basically this is the algorithm for addition of two numbers. Now what we can do is we can represent this algorithm as a visual representation. So this is your algorithm. This is the master console where the output will be produced. You can increase the size. You can go to scale and you can increase the size of the symbols. I think 150% is enough. Okay. So the first instruction that you are supposed to do is you have to read two numbers, number 1 and number 2. As it is input, you have to take the input symbol, click the input symbol and drag it here. Drag wherever you would like to have. Drag to the place wherever you would like to. Okay, just double click symbol, and here you can write prompting message. This prompting message is nothing but the message which is going to be displayed when it is waiting for the user to enter a first value. Okay, this is a prompting message that you can display, and this message will be displayed when this input symbol is going to execute. Let us say enter first number, enter first number. So this message will be displayed when this input statement is getting executed. If the user enters the value, let's store that value in number 1. Okay, so what happens is, if the user enters a value, that value will be stored in a variable called as number 1 variable. This is okay, this is for getting one input. We need one more input, so you can click on the input symbol and drag it and drop it here. This is one way, or you can do, what you can do is, there is another way how you can add symbols. Just give a right click here wherever you would like to add symbol, and insert the symbol which you would like to insert. Okay, this is for getting the second number. Enter second number. This is a prompting message. So this message will be displayed when the input statement is getting executed. And once the user enters a value, that value has to store in a computer, and we will take a variable. Okay, the value will be stored in this variable. Okay, so this is the first statement is finished. So read two numbers, number 1 and number 2. Two statement is finished. And third statement is assignment statement, where you are adding number 1 and number 2, and the result is getting stored in sum 3. So it is a assignment statement. Okay, a mathematical computation is performing on the right side, and the result is going to assign to the left side variable. Okay, so as it is assignment statement, just take assignment and drop it here. You have to add two numbers, and the result should be stored in sum. So here give as sum. So here you have to give a left side operand. Okay, so left side operand. So left side operand is sum. Give sum here. Here you should give the right side expressions. Right side you are having an expression number 1 plus number 2. You have to give right side expression plus number 2. So what happens is, number 1 plus and number 2, these two will be added, and the result will be stored in some variable. Okay, so let's execute this program. Let's execute step by step. The program will start execution from the start symbol. Then the next one is a input statement. So if you execute this input statement, that means your Raptor program will ask user to enter an input, and it display a prompting message to enter input. Let us say 10. The value 10 will be stored in number 1. Okay, the value 10 will be stored in number 1. See here, you can visualize it. Value 10 is stored in number 1, and this statement is to read another input. If you execute this statement, and it will expect input from the user. Okay, it is showing a prompting message, and it is asking you to enter number 15. So the 15 will be stored in a variable called as number 2. Okay, so here number 1, here I read one value, the value will be stored in number 1. Here I read another value, and the value is stored in number 2. If I execute this statement, this is the assignment statement which adds number 1 and number 2, and the result will be stored in a variable called as sum. See, the sum is having a value 25. Okay, and we reach end of the program. The flowchart is completed. But if you observe this master console, the master console does not have any output. The reason is, we never use output symbols. And the output will not be produced to the master console. If you want to produce output to the master console, you have to use an output symbol. Just drag this and place it here. Double click the symbol. Here you can write whatever the information you would like to display on the output device, which is your master console. I can write like this: addition of two numbers is. So this is the message that will be displayed on the master console. If you want to display your result, the value which is stored in sum, what you have to do is you have to mention the variable name. Observe here. So this is the message that you would like to display on the master console, and this is the value. The message and a value should always separated with a plus symbol. This plus symbol will act as the concatenation operator. So what it will do is it will combine a message as well as value of a variable. Okay, so you will get output like addition of two numbers is 25. Addition of two numbers is 25. Let's see. Let's execute this. Start with the start symbol, get an input, give value as 10, give another input, this time give value as 15. So when this statement executes, the first two numbers will be added and the result will be stored in sum. So you can visualize this here. When this statement is executed, and this value will be printed onto the master console. What it will print? It will print addition of two numbers is the value of sum. The value of sum is 25. So it will print addition of two numbers is 25. Okay, so let's see here. Addition of two numbers is 25. So when it encounters end symbol, that means a Raptor program is completed. This is how you can do. This is how you can write a simple program using a Raptor tool. Let's write one more program which performs multiplication of two numbers. Again, for multiplication of two numbers, you need. Let's write algorithm first. For multiplication of two numbers, you need two statements. You need two inputs, number one and number two. Perform multiplication and store the result in a variable called result variable and print the result variable. Print result variable as output. So this is your algorithm. The first step is read two numbers. The first step is read two numbers. So first let's read one number. Give a prompting message. Enter number 1. And when the user enters a value, that value has stored inside a computer memory. So you need a variable to represent a computer memory. Let's say number 1. So once a user enters a value, the value will be stored in number 1. Read another value. Read another value. Enter second number, and the number entered by the user will be stored in a variable called as number 2. Okay, the first step is finished. The next one is perform assignment. Compute the multiplication of number 1 and number 2 and assign the result in and assign the value to a result variable. So you need an assignment symbol here. An assignment symbol, drag it here, and here in the set you have to give the left side variable. The left side variable is result, and the right side and here you have to give the right side expression. It's nothing but number 1 plus number 2. It performs additional. Now we are performing multiplication. It multiplies number 1 and number 2. The result will be stored in result variable. The second step is finished, and third step, produce the output. To produce the output, you need an output symbol. The produce output as multiplication of two numbers is So you have to display this message followed by the value of multiplication. So you can concatenate the message as well as the result. Okay, if this is for printing, this is for going to the next line after printing the result. Okay, so let's execute this. Let's execute step by step. Your execution will start from the start symbol. Now it is asking you to enter a number. Enter a number like 8. And the second statement, it is also an input statement. If you execute this statement, again it will ask you to enter a number. Give another input, let's say 4. So this is the assignment statement which performs multiplication, and the result will be assigned to a result variable. So you can find this. Okay, it performs multiplication of number 1 and number 2, and the result is stored in 32. And if you execute this statement, the output will be produced to the master console. See here, the multiplication of two numbers is 32. So this is how you can write programs using Raptor tool. So far we discussed only sequential programs where all the instructions is getting executed one after another. All the instructions are getting executed one after another, and no statement is getting skipped. And in the upcoming videos we can see how to skip certain statements based on condition. If the condition is satisfied, execute this set of statements. Otherwise, don't execute this set of statements. So you can skip certain set of statements based on a condition. One more thing is, when you are using variables, you have to be very careful when you are using variables. Very frequently you will get this error. So variable not found error. So this is the error that you will get very frequently, and the reasons for this error is either you have not given a value to a variable, or the variable name is misspelled. So these are the two reasons why you get this error. A variable not found error you will get because of two reasons. One is either you might have not given a value, or you have given a value but the spelling is not right. So let's see this. So for example, here my variable name is number 1. Here my variable is number 1, and here my variable name is number 2. Here my variable name is number 1. Here my variable name is number 2. But if here in this statement, if I misspelled this as number TWO, let's see what happens. So I have given two numbers, number 1 and number 2, but when performing multiplication I have given different names. I have given correct name for number 1, but I have given incorrect name for number 2. Let's see what happens. Let's give one input. So far we have only two variables, number 1 and number 2, but here I am trying to multiply number 1 with some other variable which is not exist. If I execute this, see, you will get this error, variable number 2 not found, and the same message will be displayed in your console, master console. So you have to take care of these errors. In the next video we will see the operators and some more examples. Thank you.